and welcome to another episode of NASCAR Northern Style. You know, I haven't even opened my mouth and you're laughing already.
I can't help it. It's you, Rob.
It's my comedic approach to everything.
It is.
It's amazing they let us on the air for another week, isn't it?
It is.
All the action that's fit to put into a half hour of television. What do you want to talk about today?
I think that, well, we've got three great drivers on today that have lots of information to share with us. And
Now, I saw the drivers in the green room with the M&Ms before the show today.
there was M&Ms?
Yeah.
Nobody gave me any.
Yeah.
How come I always miss out on the good stuff?
You just have to keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes peeled. One of the drivers joining us later, he'll talk to me and Christy separately, is Matt Carlander, the two-time defending champion at Elko Speedway. I'll get it out. He's the Thundercar champion. He was talking with you, or you were talking with him, and suggesting that maybe I stir up the C word every now and then, some controversy.
Oh,
I'm
boy,
shocked.
You had me nervous for a second there. This is daytime television. I think he might have a point. You're already starting it. What else is there to say?
I mean, I would never go out of my way to call him Cliché-lander as opposed to Carlander, but if the moment arose and, it was appropriate, I just might do that.
But everybody knows you call him that, so
Once in a while.
that's
Once in a while.
controversy.
So we'll count, when he joins us on the show, among other things, we'll count the number of cliches that he uses during his given interview with you and me.
I think people just like to rile you up a little bit.
Nothing.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm so mellow some days I don't even know if I have a pulse. No one can get me riled up.
I think what that smell is.
We'll also talk with super late model driver Benny Van Cleve and sportsman driver Adam Benzik, two other guys who are
Very
entering
nice
their
guys. Very
second
nice
year of
guys.
racing. Did you, try to stir things up in the green room with them as well?
I'm not like that. I just wanted to get to know them. Thought I might help the audience out. Maybe they'd like to get to know a little bit more about them, and I think I think we'll accomplish that.
Really, we just want to get to know more about you.
Really?
Yep. It's all
Let me
about
get
you.
started.
Just remember that. So fire away.
Hi.
I thought you had some questions for
I'm
me. Come
Christy
on.
Love. Shh.
Come on.
I do. You know
You're
what?
using up my allotted airtime here.
I'm new to this sort
Right.
of, so I could actually use a little bit of help, and maybe you could briefly. I don't know if you can handle that word, but
Whoa. You obviously have not been informed of
This
my
is my
no-touching zone, okay?
did you?
Those
I
who know
love
me
that
well,
movie.
there's a no-touching zone right here.
Is it? Well, I'm so sorry. Good
You've been
grief.
warned, okay?
Yeah, okay, fine. What? Could you help me out here?
We have more fun than Regis and Kelly, don't we? Can I help you with what? Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know if they like each other either.
Probably not. It's amazing how you can fake it for the camera.
Well, you will help me out with the
Fire
cars,
away.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know Dick Sanitation sponsors the Power Stocks.
Power stock class,
I don't understand
Sure.
much about them.
the entry-level class at Elko Speedway. I think one of the greatest things about the power stock division, with the exception of Bud Kane, of course, is the fact that there's a great car count year in, year out, because it's affordable. It's a great entry level, and there are many drivers like the aforementioned Bud Kane who continue to race the class just because they love racing. They don't want to spend much more money, and they can afford the power stock, so they stay in it. And what you get is excellent side-by-side racing every week.
Okay, so
Did I
someone
pass,
like
do I get a passing grade on that?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, from what I understand now, I could drive a Power Stock because I could afford it.
I think you could. I can't speak for your personal finances.
No.
But yes, you are correct, ma'am.
No, the Coca-Cola Thundercars. The difference there.
Sure, level up. Bodies are just slightly different. Speed is a little greater in the Thundercars. I think the Thundercars this year are going to have probably the biggest field on a regular basis at Elko Speedway. There are some rumors that there on some nights might be as many as 40, 45, or even 50 cars. And like the power stocks,
50 cars moving around the track.
it's pretty
all
good,
at
huh?
once?
Well, they may have a last chance feature, so they kind of shrink the field for the feature.
Wow.
But all at once.
That's
so you
fair.
get two, and even sometimes three wide, and these drivers, they can bump and bang, but they don't wreck too often. I think that's what makes the Thundercar class most entertaining. Is you get the purity of racing, but you don't have to sit through a lot of drawn-out cautions.
Okay. All right. Caution.
And you get to talk to winners who sometimes use a lot of cliches in their answers.
No controversy.
Never.
None. You never stir up any.
Don't even know the word. Next.
Okay, next, the Car Quest. Let's see, it's the
I
sports.
kind of feel like Ed Koch, when he was mayor of New York, he used to walk out, among the people and say, "How am I doing?" No, how am I doing?
Am
I answering your questions?
Pretty well, I
Okay.
think.
Next, you said Car Quest
I
Sportsman.
said, yes, the Sportsman.
Very fast.
division.
I almost call them, I use this affectionately, I'd say they're mini late models. They're not much smaller and they're not much slower. In some cases, they're almost as fast. Just ask super late model driver Matt Kern.
All right, and there's the Treasure Island Resort.
Is that the
and,
island calling?
Yeah, the resort and casino sponsored the super late models.
Super late models, the creme de la creme.
Now these are the ones that look mostly like the cars that race around.
They look like Nextel Cup cars. They're very fast, sometimes nearing speeds of 100 miles an hour down the front stretch.
I can do that in my truck.
I'm sure you can. But can you do it for 40 straight laps without wrecking?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do it daily.
You know,
my
before
car
the
just isn't
season
all
ends,
souped up.
before the season ends, Christy is going to get into a super late model car in a race, not just, for exhibition on a Thursday afternoon or Thursday night test session. We're going to put you in a race. And I'm going to sit next to the camera and do my impersonation of Howard Carcel and kind of announce you going around the track.
Oh, I get it, Carcel.
Get it?
Nice.
Got to get up pretty early to keep up with me.
Apparently not. I was a really late one for me.
Did we answer your questions about the
You did, and I
super
think
late
that will help
models?
the people at home figure. I mean, because not everyone knows what's going on, and it is getting more and more popular all the time. So lots more people are coming out
exactly
and getting
right.
a taste, and you do see a difference in the cars, but you don't particularly understand what's going on underneath the hood. We got a great show lined up for you today. We'll be right back on NASCAR Northern Style.
Joining us now on NASCAR Northern Style is sportsman driver Adam Benzik, entering his second year in the sportsman class. Let's flash back real quickly to last year, your rookie season. What did you learn and what are you going to bring into this season?
We learned a lot as far as race car setups, learning the drivers, stuff like that, their tendencies, and it was all in all it was a good season. We had our ups and downs, started off hot and kind of trailed off at the end, but hopefully pick it up this year.
What was the biggest surprise or maybe the biggest downer of the year?
The biggest surprise was probably just the speed and stuff like that, moving from...
You had speed?
Well, we had a little bit of speed.
So you wanted a little humor.
Not as much as other guys. Not
Yeah.
as much as other guys, but yeah, it was. I'm moving from Raceway Park Bombers to Sportsman was a huge jump, and it took us, it was a learning curve, but we got it at the end a little bit better.
How much did you work on the car during the off season?
A lot. We pulled it off for way too long. Waited 2 months before we started working on it, and then we were kind of rushing to get out there for the Thursday night practice. But we made it out, and everything went good. So we're looking forward to the season.
What about some of your closest competitors? Particularly last year, you had a good battle for Rookie of the Year with Kevin Lutz and Justin Neisches. I understand Neisches has even suggested, or at least intimated, that he might be the man to beat in the entire field this year. Talk about those two competitors.
That's what I heard. Justin has made that claim. I don't know for sure. I didn't hear it directly from him, so that's the word on the street, I guess. But last year was a good season with the Rookie of the Year. We were leading it for probably half the season, but just kind of trailed off at the end and lost it to those guys. And they're good competitors. They've been racing at the track for longer than we have, so they deserved it.
Any concern that maybe they are going to carry some of that momentum into this season and you're going to have to pick up where you left off, meaning you have a bigger hurdle to overcome?
Yes. There's a lot of people are doubting us right now with what we're going to be doing this year, but we're in the middle of the pack last year, but we're hoping to jump up and be competitive this year and try for the championship. I'm not going to make any guarantees, but we can try for it.
Try for it. Come on, you can do a little better than try. They don't give a ribbon for effort at Elko, do they? Come on, trophies for the winners.
We'll win some races, I think, and then see what happens at the end. With the chase for the cup, you never know what's going to happen.
Okay, there. A little definitive prediction.
Exactly.
You're going to win some races.
Exactly.
Some feature races?
I think so.
Not just trailer races.
I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I think so.
Oh, come on, look into that camera. Guarantee us something. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Throughout the season. He's guaranteed a title here on NASCAR Northern Style. And Adam Benzik, sportsman driver at Elko Speedway.
Thanks.
So I want to ask you some real questions.
Yep.
Like, what do you do when you're not at the track?
You mean as far as family, stuff like that?
Absolutely, all of it. I mean, what do you do for a job? Do you have another job besides the track?
Well, yeah, driving's kind of a side job, I guess you could say.
Okay.
But I work with my dad and my brother. We have our own auto repair shop, and that keeps me busy
Funny
when we're out
that
there.
works. Before you go, huh? Right?
It
You
works out
fix all
perfect
your
with the car.
cars.
Exactly.
Very nice.
We're actually working during the day on the car just to get it done. So.
That's great. Now, do you have a sponsor?
Yep, we have a few sponsors. Pro Service, that's our company.
Okay.
Waste Management, who's on my shirt right now, they're actually doing an Adam Benzik special. It's, mention our name, they get a good deal over the phone and stuff like that. So call your local Waste Management.
Oh, nice plug.
Hey,
There
yep,
you go.
thanks. Krieger Excavating, JR Services, Hairtoss Construction, Innovative Concrete Incorporated,
Good grief.
and Borderline Party Bus.
Boy, wow, you had a lot of sponsors. They
Yep.
must think something of you.
Exactly.
You must be going to do some big things this year.
Hopefully, we're hoping we do.
Now, do you have a family? Do you have a wife, kids?
I have a girlfriend. Her
You
name's
do?
Stacy. We have 2 kids. They're actually 2 boxer dogs, but they're pretty much our kids. I like to spend a lot of time
You
with
have
them.
no idea. You have absolutely no idea. Good luck.
Thanks. You have 2 boxers or what?
No, I don't have any boxers. Well, I have boxers, but they're in the drawer.
Yeah.
And as
here.
for, I have plenty of children. I have 2 children.
Okay.
So you're in for
Not fur babies, actual
no,
children.
not fur babies. Adam, it was a pleasure to meet you. It'll be
Me too.
great to see how you do out at the track this year.
I appreciate
And
it.
I wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you.
It was very nice to meet you. We'll be back on NASCAR Northern Style in just a minute.
Back on NASCAR Northern Style, I'm Rob Hahn. Note to the producers of this show, next time they book someone wearing such a bright shirt, maybe they can provide me with some sunglasses. Benny Van Cleve, the 2005 Rookie of the Year in the Super Late Model Division at Elko Speedway, joins us, and it's always interesting, I think, for our viewers to hear what it's like to come out of your rookie season knowing you're the top rookie. Any added pressure this year?
No, I don't think so. Everybody says that after that you have your sophomore slump, so we'll see what happens.
Now, there's optimism. Let's talk before we look ahead to the full season that's in front of us. Let's talk just briefly about the 2005 campaign. As we mentioned, you were Rookie of the Year, so obviously you did very well. You did have some hard crashes, or at least one particular one, in the midst of that season. Talk about that, where you wadded it up into the wall.
Yeah, June 10th, the AC Delco night, I backed her into the fence a little bit and wadded her up and wrecked that car and had to sit out a few weeks and build another one.
What kind of went through your mind during those 2 weeks off? Were you thinking much of the wreck, or just so focused on building the car and getting back out and getting those rookie points?
Well, actually, it was pretty easy. I went on vacation and the guys built me a new car and I came back and got in.
Jeez. What about the 2006 season? We keep hearing stories about different drivers coming out, a few sitting out. Which drivers do you think are going to be the ones to beat this year at Elko?
It'll be the same guys. It'll be Jake Ryan, Donnie Reavers, Jacob Gady had a good year last year. I'm not sure who the other guys are that are coming back, if Steve Mergick's coming back or Jeff Martin I hear is back in a car. I'm sure he'll be strong. And well, we definitely are looking for a top 5 finish. We built 2 brand new cars and we're working on a 3rd one right now. I hired a full-time crew chief. Last year I was kind of back and forth with guys, and he was there from day one. We started building the cars, so should be nothing but better results.
How much of an advantage do you think it'll give you to have just one person working on a full-time basis as a crew chief, as opposed to, as you say, last year, kind of mixing and matching?
I think it'll be huge. Each person has a different perspective on how I think the car is reacting.
During the off-season, I shouldn't even call it the off-season because you were still racing, but after Elko wrapped up last year, you took your car and went to, among other places, Nashville, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
Tell us about that. You kind of had a good run going and some high speeds, and then a little problem.
Yeah, we were running pretty good down there. We were racing in a B main race and was leading the race, and a guy decided that he wanted to lead the race, so he turned us into the wall, hit the wall hard, broke my C1 in my neck, 5 ribs on my left side, and punctured my lung.
Easy here now. I have a weak stomach, okay? And you don't have to give me the medicinal details. How long did it take you to recover?
Well, I just got clearance from the doctor about 2 to 3 weeks ago to let me know I could go racing. So I've been building new cars all winter, just praying that I'd get the okay.
Any thoughts or concerns that you might re-aggravate some of those injuries?
No, they said I'm good to go.
As long as you win races, right?
That's the perfect cure.
Well, good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Benny Van Cleve, last year's Rookie of the Year. He looks to avoid the sophomore slump this year in the Elko Super Late Model Division.
So now that we're done talking about how great you are at racing, let's talk about how you are at just every day. What else do you do besides racing?
Spend a lot of time in the shop. Try to do a little bit of golfing.
Do you know you have a screwdriver in your ear? Or a
Have-
screw? Or this is probably the screw. The screwdriver would be a little long. In the ear.
Screwdriver will fit through it.
It looks like something you could tighten. Does that have to be tightened on occasion?
Sure.
It's kind of cool. Well, where'd you come up with this idea? To go along with all the other art that you have going on here.
I've never was one to follow the norm or, I just do what I want. If people don't like it, they don't have to look
They
at
don't
it.
have to like it. Can you tell me about this? What you got going on here?
This one's flames. Pretty much just about everything I own has some sort of flames on it.
Right. So is that the name of your car, the Flame?
This one we haven't got to prove yet, so we don't have a name for it yet.
I told you what I think you should name it. You're Benny, so call it the Jet, and then you can blare Benny and the Jets the whole time you're driving out onto the track. It'd
Hopefully
be
it's a
perfect.
jet.
And then no one will ever forget you. So do you have some sponsors?
Yep, I got the Denny Hecker Auto Connection. They help me out. Velocity Motorsports. Then I have Motor Parts Service Incorporated.
So you're just a walking billboard for them today, aren't you?
So
And
yeah,
you chose a very quiet color, I see.
matches the car. So if you're looking for an
Flames.
auto, Denny Hecker's Auto Connection is where you go.
I've seen him on TV once or twice. I think I'd know that guy just about anywhere.
Maybe we should change it to tell him Benny sent you.
Yeah, there you go. Benny and the Jet. Well, great. It was very, very nice to meet you. I hope you have a great year out at the track this year. I hear you're the returning champ.
For the rookie, hopefully returning champ next year.
See, there you go. You got big aspirations. It's perfect. We'll be right back.
Back on NASCAR Northern Style, I'm Rob Hahn with Matt Carlander, not one but two-time defending champion in the NASCAR Thundercar division at Elko Speedway. You're not one to focus on the past, I know, but the 2005 and 2004 seasons were nothing short of spectacular for you and your team.
Yes, they were very good to us. We did have a great 05 and a great 04 year, and we were rewarded with 2 championships. Those years are in the past, and we have focused on the 2006 season, and we are looking forward to having another good year, but we need a little luck and a lot of consistency, and there's a lot of competition out there, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
I count, I think, 7 cliches there. You know, we were joking last week on the show that I'm going to nickname you, instead of Carlander, it's going to be Cliche-Lander. But then you reminded me off the air that you are bigger than I am.
That is correct.
Probably
Rob, and
stronger too, so I better watch it.
I have heard through the grapevine that you were talking some smack in the last episode.
I would never do such a thing. Now, let's talk about this season. You spent the better part of last year working on a brand new car, which is finally ready.
We do have a new Monte Carlo that will be hitting the track, hopefully this Saturday. And we had to retire the old one, as I think everybody knows, is Blackie, but she is null and void and no longer with us.
Tell us about the new car outside of being a Chevy.
The new car is a Chevy Monte Carlo. My crew, Terry Barta, Don Reichert, Tom Reichert, and the company, Mike Hansen, have diligently worked on the car throughout the fall and into the winter and throughout the beginning of the spring, and we are currently ready to go.
You talk about, you just alluded to your work ethic, but we've talked about it before, that your team is not one of those that loads up on Saturday night and comes back the next Saturday and unloads. There's a lot of work in the garage in between Saturday and Saturday.
Every night after work, there is an opportunity to get more work done in the shop, and that is something that we believe in, is that hard work and dedication and preparation pays off in big ways.
I'm curious to know what sort of kind of routine maintenance you have versus looking at some specific aspect of the car to try to get it to go faster? Does it depend specifically on how the car's handled the previous week, or do you have a schedule that you hit regardless?
It kind of depends on the car was run. We basically believe that weekly maintenance is a huge way to avoid problems at the track, such as little things that can go wrong, which would cause you to have a non-stellar run. But we look at areas that need improvement. The way the car handles is usually the first concern, and then basic maintenance upon that is next. So that's normally how we do it. Monday through Friday is in the shop.
All 5 days?
All 5 days.
Okay. Do you get to rest on Sunday?
Sunday is a day of rest.
Yes.
So,
After the celebratory actions on Saturday night, right?
we usually have to get up and go to church on Sunday morning.
And then rest afterwards.
That is correct.
Very good. Let's size up the field, if you would. You've got loads of Thundercars out there this year. It's really become, I would argue, the most entertaining class to watch at Elko Speedway. Who are the drivers that are going to give you the best run for your money this year?
Well, there's a lot of drivers out there that'll give me a run for my money, and I'm not going to exclude just one of them, because I do hear that through the grapevine there is 50 cars registered, so that would mean there's 49 other people out there to keep your eyes on.
What else have we forgotten to cover as we wrap up this segment?
I would just like to thank my sponsors. Zumbrota Bearing and Gear has been with us now for about 3-4 years, and they've been through some good times and bad times. I've burned up a lot of their parts over the years, but they've been on board. Bauer Southside Liquor in Faribault has been on there. Crystal Lake Farms is new this year, and I'd like to say special thanks to Mark. He was the guy that orchestrated that whole deal. And we also are sponsored now by Mountain Dew and Old Dutch Potato Chips.
Pretty good.
So,
Good luck the rest of the season.
thank you, Rob.
Matt Carlander en route to defending his title in the Thundercar division at Elko Speedway.
Knock on wood on that, Rob.
All right, there we go.
Oh, I want to talk about your day job. You did say you work for the bank.
Currently, I am a banker by trade, and by meaning that I am the assistant vice president for the State Bank of Fairmont. I do handle all the marketing and teller line and day-to-day operations for the bank.
How does banker racer, race car driver
During
go?
the week, you can build up a lot of stress in the banking world, and unfortunately, you can't make everybody happy. But on Saturday night, you can blow off a lot of steam.
In the Thundercars.
That's right.
So do you think maybe you could take me for a ride in your car?
I'd love to take you for a ride in the
Would
car.
you? I would love to learn how to drive these bad boys.
That's no
They're
problem.
noisy and loud, and they look like there's absolutely. It looks like a blast. It really does.
It is a good time.
And I would love to do that. So sometime maybe you could show me.
Anytime.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
We'll be back on NASCAR Northern Style. Thanks for joining us. We're back here on NASCAR Northern Style. I think we had a great show today. We met some great guys. I learned a lot about them.
Who was your favorite? Let me put you on the spot of the 3 drivers you interviewed.
I-
And don't tell me I liked them all equally and that, come on. Favorite and least favorite.
I did find Matt very interesting. I mean, he was
How many
very-
cliches did he use during your segment?
I don't.
Since they kind of buried me, in the back studio, I couldn't even watch them.
How many did he
Yeah.
use? I counted 0.
Okay. Well, he needs to work on that then. Or maybe you need to work on your math.
Right. We can get you some tickets here to Elko Speedway.
952-461-RACE.
Perfect.
Which is 7223.
7223?
Yep.
You must have called it once or twice.
Just once or twice. Or at elkospeedway.com for those of you who like the internet.
And we're here every week from 10:30 to 11 on ESPN2. I don't know what else to say.
Well, then I'll say thanks for joining us. For Christy Love, I'm Rob Hahn. NASCAR Northern Style. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye. Good morning. We're here with another edition of NASCAR Northern Style. This would be our 6th show, Rob. This is Rob, by the way. I'm Christy Love.
I'm just going to let you talk the whole episode.
This is Rob. You know him.
It's good to be here.
We don't even see him if you don't want to.
Boy.
June 10th.
June 10th
June
is
10th,
today.
a night of NASCAR racing.
Yes, another great night of racing at Elko Speedway. You know, we were talking off air before we started that this is our 6th show, and I'm kind of curious to know what you've enjoyed most, outside of working with me, of course, what you've enjoyed most about doing the show so far this year.
Well, besides the fact that I get to work with you,
Good
which
answer.
you did just mention, I really enjoyed, I would say, the day that I shot the commercial with Conrad Jorgensen and sat down and chatted with him. Getting to know these racers has been pretty cool.
Conrad's a cool guy. In
Very
fact,
cool.
he corrected me. It's rare that I misspeak, and I kind of generalize, so it wasn't completely an error on my part, but I think I said he had been racing for about 15 or 20 years. He said it's closer to like 30 or 40 years.
Okay, so
30
if he had,
years.
if he had to
30.
correct you on anything, at least
He
it
is,
was-
he is kind of gray, you know. Maybe not
He
quite
is.
as gray as I am.
No, he's as gray as you are.
Yeah, but he enjoyed the interview you did with him.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He really is a great guy. And you'll be happy to know that we didn't leave out Blacks after we were all done.
Oh, very nice.
We went and visited Blacks.
Well, kind of a warm down.
Right,
A warm
exactly.
down lineup, right?
Yeah, it was nice.
Before I forget, later in today's episode, in case you're keeping tabs, we're going to talk with sportsman rookie Erica Wabel, and we'll also talk with Thundercar driver Roger Meyer. We'll talk a little bit more about them before we lead up to their interviews later in the show. I got off the phone just before we took air this morning with Tom Ryan, president and owner of Elko Speedway, and
I
he
talked to
informed
him.
me, yeah, he knows you, right?
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, yes. He informed me that they are closer to solidifying their lineup for Nextel Cup Night, which will be July 5th at Elko Speedway.
That would be cool.
3 drivers are now confirmed, and they are as follows. You want to read my handwriting? You can kind of.
I don't even want to attempt.
David Stremme, John
I just
Andretti,
smile.
and Joel Kaufman. Now, Kaufman is most unique because he's one of the 3 rookies featured on the Speed Channel.
Say those 3 again.
Stremme, Andretti, and Kaufman.
Oh, very nice.
All right. Andretti's kind of a
I'm
household
actually
name,
starting
right?
to know these names.
Yeah,
That's impressive, don't you think?
I do. I think the growth in your racing wisdom has been enormous. I'm stupefied sometimes by, how quickly you've learned.
You're stupefied a lot.
I am. Kaufman, as I was saying before I was somewhat rudely interrupted,
Not rudely. I asked
is
again.
one of the rookies featured on the Speed Channel's NBS 24/7, which is kind of a reality show where the cameras follow him around and, document their entire life pretty much. But because he'll be racing at Elko, they're going to bring their cameras up to Elko and follow him around for a day or two, which I think will be great. And then that
Very
episode
cool.
will air, shortly thereafter in the first part of July.
So they're doing a reality series on some of these racers now,
Yeah.
or just him.
No, I think it's him and 2 other rookies in the Busch series. So I
Very
think, I think that'll be pretty exciting for Elko, and it'll be interesting to see how these 2 guys. Andretti's not going to be part of the actual racing that night. He might be in a match race, but he's not going to race against the super late model guys. But Stremme and Kaufman will race in a feature against our local guys. So it's
I
always
know.
fun to see how our guys do. I think sometimes because they know the track, there's that potential that they can really school, Stremme and Kaufman.
That'll be cool. I know that last year when they did this, there was quite the uproar out at the.
Oh, it was
racetrack.
great. It was great. They arrived in, this is where NASCAR has come in so many years. It used to be you drive a pickup with an open-end trailer and go from track to track, even at the Cup level. Now you get into your corporate jet and fly from here to there and back to there. And
You get a limo ride.
their limo ride, yeah. Last year, who was it? Casey Kane, I think Jason Leffler.
Yeah, it was amazing
Who am I
too.
forgetting?
There was
Doesn't
so
matter.
many
But it'll be
people
Stremme,
there.
Andretti, and Kaufman, and maybe a couple more drivers to be named later. That's all going to take place July 5th at Elko Speedway, and there are VIP tickets on sale now. If I'm not mistaken, and whenever have I ever been mistaken, right? Those passes are $150 a piece and include, among other things, a private autograph signing session, a dinner, and then a reserved seat.
Wow.
So that's pretty fresh info.
not bad.
Don't say that I don't work once in a while.
Do you think that they would maybe give us that for free? Could we show up and not have to pay that?
Well, TV stardom, right? Don't you know who we are? I always thought that was one of the greatest ironic lines when someone says, don't you know who I am?
We know people, right?
Yeah, you're right. So I think we better take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about and then with Erica Wabel.
We're back right here on NASCAR Northern Style. I'm Christy Love. This is Rob Hahn. I believe you have an interview for us to view today, don't you?
We had a good interview, if I may say so myself, with Erica Wabel, a rookie in the sportsman class. Before we get to it, though, I'm curious to know, because whenever we talk to someone like Erica, inevitably we talk about women in racing and people like Danica Patrick. What do you think of Danica Patrick?
I think she's getting a lot of airtime.
I think it's great. I think the more airtime for her, the better, right?
No, I think it's great. I've seen her on some secret commercial. I've seen her probably every other magazine I open up. She's
Easy on the eyes.
She's not hard.
Yeah.
She has a very pretty girl.
And she's a pretty good racer, too.
That helps.
All right, enough about Danica. Let's talk with Erica.
You're a rookie in the sportsman class. What's it been like so far this year?
Oh, it's hard to get used to. It's way faster than I'm used to, and the cars are hard to control.
You know, last year you had a bet with your dad. Went something like if you won 3 features in the short tracker division at Raceway Park, that he would let you race, not just drive, but race his sportsman. And then he kind of reneged on that. Maybe you could take us through that.
Yeah, well, he told me that if I won 3 features that I could drive his sportsman. Well, he said that I could practice until I was ready to race, but he didn't think I'd win 3 in time to make the end of the season in the short track or in the sportsman. So then after I won 2, he said, whoa, you can drive it out here at Raceway. So he kind of changed his mind, and then at the end of the year I ended up getting to drive it in 1 heat race on the last night.
What was that experience like?
That was better than my experience out here so far. I could at least keep up then. Now I don't know, it's hard to get used to.
A couple weeks ago on the show we talked with Nick Mergic, who's followed a similar path, racing the short trackers at Raceway, now a rookie as well in the sportsman class here. And he said that his main goal is just to stay smooth. Is that kind of your goal headed into this season or going into the season?
Yeah, at this point I just want to be able to just kind of get the feel of the car and keep up with the rest of the pack and just gradually get the feel for it.
What's been most challenging so far?
Oh, I don't know. It's getting used to the radios and stuff. I'm not used. Usually I can see everything. I've got the big headrest and everything. I've kind of got to depend on a spotter for when someone's outside of me, so that's weird.
What about the most fun?
It's a lot more power.
We mentioned, obviously, your dad, Randy, a little earlier. Tell us about his role in your racing career.
He does pretty much everything. I do just little stuff like oil changes and check nuts and bolts and stuff, but I wouldn't be able to do it without him.
You probably don't want to give him that much credit on television, though. You know, he's going to get a bigger head.
That's okay. He'll help me more.
She works on the car. Yeah. Tanya was just pointing out that you have a spot on your shirt. God forbid that someone has a spot on their clothes while they're working on a race car.
Yeah, I did the oil change this morning, so I got that on my shirt. I don't really care, though. I wear it, my worst outfits to go to the racetrack.
Certainly with the recent running of the Indianapolis 500, there's a lot of focus on Danica Patrick and certainly women in racing. You're probably tired of hearing about these questions, but do you give it much thought that you're a woman in what's been traditionally a guy's sport?
I don't think I think about it as much as my dad does. He's always worried about somebody wanting to take me out just because I'm a girl or something, but I don't. Once you're on the racetrack, I don't think anybody really thinks about it.
What are your goals beyond this season? Do you plan to stay in the sportsman class for a while?
I would like to, as long as I can afford it.
Okay. Thanks and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Hi, Erica. How you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Good. I know Rob has talked to you about racing in general. I actually would like to know how someone like you decided to get, what made you decide you wanted to go at 100 miles an hour around a track and take a chance of hitting a wall?
Well, my dad raced. He's been racing since I was born, so we just watched him as we were growing up, and when I was 16, he asked me if I wanted to drive a car. I was supposed to share with my sister, and ended up wrecking that one the first time I drove it, and then he bought me a short tracker when I was 18.
So you had to share. And that's how you took care of having to share. You wrecked the car, now I don't have to share anymore. That's brilliant. Everyone remember that. Now, I know you said it's a family thing. Do you have anybody else who supports you in this?
Well, my sponsors help me a lot. There are a few family friends kind of help out. Gens Ryan, we know them, and Meyer Trucking. And then Grade A Gutters, there's some family friends.
Okay, do you have a significant other that helps you out at all, that supports you and watches and does whatever it would take?
Nate, my boyfriend, is on the radios with me, but otherwise he's got to help Brent, his brother, in the Thundercar, so he doesn't help out with the car too much.
So does he get nervous when you're out there?
I don't think so. I think my dad gets nervous now that I'm in a bigger car that's going faster. So.
And how are you liking it?
Oh, it's different. It's hard to relearn it all. So.
Now I understand you're 16th right now, which is pretty darn good for just starting. Because I know that you've only been doing this a couple weeks now, and that's pretty darn good. That you're up at 16 out of, I believe, like 25. That's not so bad.
Yeah, we're getting the hang of it.
She's showing her girl power.
Trying.
Now, how old are you?
I'm 21.
21. So you just got a driver's license. Oh, no, now you're allowed to drink and drive.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got that messed up. I'm kidding, by the way. So is there anything that you're hoping to do with this in the future? Do you want to see yourself go to bigger tracks, or is this just something that you're really enjoying doing now and probably where you'll stick with?
For now, we're just working on trying to run up front in this thing and hopefully do this for a couple years and maybe move up after that.
Right, so you're aspiring kind of to do the Danica Patrick thing, maybe?
I don't know if I'll get that far.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be so bad, right? I mean, everybody wants a secret commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, it was very nice to meet you. I'm hoping that you have a real great race tonight. Are you anything special planned or anything extra on the car you're thinking might help you out this week?
No, they're changing something right now. I don't like it when they do that right before the race, but that's okay.
So you can't wait for this to be over so you can go check it out. Well, I'm going to relieve you so you can go make sure your car's all right. We're here on NASCAR Northern Style. Thanks a lot.
Welcome back to NASCAR Northern Style. Another great Saturday morning whenever you're joining us. I'm Rob Hahn, Christy Love.
Yes.
I don't know if it's great for the viewer, but it's great that we have some viewers.
That was a great interview you just did with Erica.
Thank you. We couldn't get her to dish on her boyfriend, though.
No, you couldn't, could you?
No, I kept
guess
asking
you don't
and
have-
asking.
you
Then I
don't
went
have
into some
the
more
touch.
racing questions and back. Well, I don't know if I don't
I'll
have the touch.
I'll have to have a go at it one of these
do
days.
that. All right, on that note, let's talk a little bit about Roger Meyer. A few weeks ago, he captured his first ever feature win in a Thundercar.
Is he
And-
number 77 in the yellow car?
Yes, he is. See, your wisdom, what? It's just percolating. Boy, we're not going to have a studio big enough to keep all your wisdom in one place by the end of the season.
Well, we'll have to get a bigger one because there's already full of yours.
Not only my wisdom, but probably my ego too, right?
Trying to
Just
keep
remember,
that in check.
Just remember, better looking every day. All right, before this goes downhill any further, let's talk with Roger.
We could start by talking about your recent feature win, your first ever in the Thundercar class, but you came with notes and you wanted to make sure you got a mention for your sponsors in right away because last year on the show, you had a little trouble kind of getting all those sponsors in. So take it away. Look at your notes.
Okay, right away I'd like to thank my sponsors, Oldenthal Landscaping, Kubish Realty, Cywick Lumber, Shaughnessy Construction, Mortgage Marketing Associates, Preble Auto Body, Crawford Signs, City Club Bar, Palmer Welcome Auto, B&T Automotive, and Southern Minnesota Towing.
Not bad. We have a time limit to this interview,
I
so
know,
we've probably used about half of it now. Let's talk racing. Your recent feature win, what did that mean to you and your team?
Oh, it meant a lot. It's what we come out here for, and it meant a lot. And it kind of meant even more because I had to start in the middle of the pack and work my way up there. It means a whole lot.
When we talked to you last year, you had just finished third. You had led most of that feature race and kind of got pinched on a restart. Did you think about that a lot following that particular race, and were you thinking about that at all when you won your feature this year?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I was also thinking the last time I ran a feature here, I was in second place, and there was an incident, and I ended up getting taken out of the race or leaving the race, and I was thinking this is going to happen again. It's getting right down to it. It's getting pretty scary, but it all worked out good for me.
Absolutely. I mean, you said that's what you're here for each week. You've been in the class, I think you said 4 years, and before that a bomber. What got you into racing?
Well, I came out here with a demolition derby car, actually, and I started talking with some of the drivers and kind of talked me into building one, and it was a good deal.
How the bomber experience, now the power stock class, compare to the Thundercar division?
To me, they're actually harder to drive because you can't do a lot with the suspension, so they're right on the edge, and here we can do a lot more adjusting. It's a little more comfortable to drive.
You know, we've seen so much dominance over the last 3, maybe even 4 years from Matt Carlander in the Thundercar class. What is it, do you think, that separates him from a lot of the rest of the field?
Well, one of the things with those guys, they really work hard. I mean, they're here almost every Thursday night, and they're really dedicated to what they're doing. And you kind of got to be, I guess.
How often do you work on the car during the week?
Well, we work on the car quite a bit, but I mean, as far as coming and practicing and running a lot of laps, all costs money. We don't do a lot of that, but yeah.
Not to mention the time you have to put into it, getting to the track for the practice sessions. How much are you able to adjust on race day between practice, the heat races, and the feature?
Well, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Tonight it's working, so we're adjusting nothing, and we're just going to see how it goes.
What do you enjoy most about the Thundercar class these days?
The competition. It's a fun group of guys. It really is. Competition.
Even with Jerry Thompson part of the class, huh?
Oh.
I only say that, Jerry, because I love you.
He was happier for me winning than I was. He's quite a guy.
You know what was really neat is I was at the drivers' meeting the week after you won your feature, and you basically got an ovation from all the drivers. So you don't always see that, and so it's a great tribute to you and the respect and the camaraderie that you have from and with the other drivers here at Elko.
Oh yeah, that means a lot. I had a lot of people come and congratulate me, and that means a lot.
Now you've set the bar kind of high, so you know there's no dipping below it for the rest of the season.
That's right.
What does a victory do in terms of your expectations? Have you raised your expectations now even more for the rest of the season?
Yeah, you feel like you should be able to theoretically run up front every night, Yeah. But we'll see how that goes.
So we'll make sure we get video when you're running up front and then when you might not be running up front. Do you ever have any plans to move beyond the Thundercar division?
I really don't know. I'm not a young guy.
Oh, come on.
No, I really don't. I really like this class, and it's something that I can afford, with the help of all my sponsors that I gave there.
Yeah, you listed them already, so you don't have to. This isn't Nextel Cup. You don't have to go back and.
Okay.
No, you can't list them again. Next feature win, maybe you can. Okay, is that a deal?
That's a deal.
All right. Good luck the rest of the season.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
I'm here with Roger Meyer, and I did ask him a trivia question that he failed terribly. No, you didn't fail,
I still think I had that right.
You do? You know what? You could have, for all I know. I know that Rob has asked you lots of questions about racing, and I actually am kind of more interested. You do have children?
Yeah, I've got a son and 2 daughters.
Okay, now do they ever come to the racetrack with you?
My boy plays in a band, so he's usually not here. He's playing on Saturday nights, but my daughters are usually here.
What band is your son playing?
The Nighttime Boogie Band. It's a variety band.
Does. I know a little bit something about bands.
Band, aren't you? Yeah.
Yes, I am. So tell me, so they don't make it out here real often?
My son can't get out here, but my daughters usually are.
Do they like racing?
Oh, yeah.
Now, how does your wife feel about you doing this?
Well, she hardly ever comes out here, but she just kind of lets me do my deal, so that works out too.
Now, is this a hobby of yours? Did you always want to do this?
Oh, it's a hobby. I started out doing demolition derbies, and I came out here and ran a demolition derby, started talking to some drivers, and built a car.
Very cool. Now, is this the kind of thing that people want to see turn into something, or you just really this is like a stress release for a lot of people?
That's what it is for me, is stress relief. Well, sometimes it's more stress than release, but to thank my crew too, Ron Johnson and Randy Smith. They're always working on the car, and my brothers help too.
How do you come up with a crew? How does somebody decide this is who I'm going to have do this for? Is it friends mostly?
Friends, yeah.
Out of these people you trust? There's children throwing things at us. I believe his name's Rob. I have to sit next to him. He's childish, totally. Well, it's very nice to meet you. It's good to talk to you and get your sponsors out there. We want to thank them always. They make all of this very possible for everybody.
Without them, most of us wouldn't be out here.
That would be. So we have to give them a heads up.
Well, yeah.
So it's a beautiful night out here. Hopefully you all will enjoy the races. We will. Again, it was very nice to meet you and have a great day.
Oh, thank you very much.
We'll be right back on NASCAR Northern Style.
Did you enjoy our interview with Roger Meyer?
I did enjoy your interview with him. I think it's great when guys get to win.
Yeah, the first,
I think
you know,
it's
first time
awesome.
winners, you always, I shouldn't say always, but often we take for granted that, you know, almost everyone has won at some point or another, and that's far from the case. So when you see someone like Roger who wins a feature in a division for the first time, you see not only how happy he and his team are, but in this case, how happy all the other drivers were for him
That's
as well.
great. Plus, that gives them a little incentive to keep going. I mean, when you win, you just want to do more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So what
Right.
have we learned today? We've learned that Nextel Cup Night is quickly approaching, July 5th at Elko Speedway, and it will include, among others, David Stremme, John Andretti, and Joel Kaufman.
Tickets you did say were $150.
Yeah, for the VIP tickets.
And you can get those from the website, I believe.
Right. ElkoSpeedway.com, or by calling the Speedway, 952-461-7223, which spells out race. All right. I got a question for you now. Since you're always laying trivia on people, as we wrap up, I thought I'd kind of pepper you or onion you with a few trivia questions. Do you think Erica Wabel will win a race before the end of the year?
I think anything's possible. Girl power.
Girl power. That's a good
Absolutely.
diplomatic answer. And Roger Meyer, do you think he rebounds from putting her into the wall the week? I think he put in the wall the week after he won his feature. So does he rebound and put her back in victory lane?
Absolutely. I think anytime you've had a win, there's an incentive there to keep doing well, regardless of what comes along. So I believe absolutely.
And will Notre Dame's football team go undefeated this year?
And who cares?
You know, 6 episodes it took me to finally get in a mention. I was being diplomatic.
Thanks very much for joining us here again on a Saturday morning at 10:30 to 11 on NASCAR Northern Style. Have a great day. I'm Christy Love.
And I'm Rob Hahn.
Bye.